All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's live product tour, the key to making online advertising profitable. Before we get started, I'm just going to run through some logistics, just so everyone knows. This session will be recorded today, and you can expect to see it in your inbox within the next 48 hours. Also, submit your questions throughout this time. We'll have a live Q&A segment at the end of this session, and we definitely want to hear from you. I also put a link to our AdWords Performance Grader in the chat box for anyone that hasn't run an analysis of their AdWords account recently. Go ahead and click that link, take a look. It'll help you really be able to focus on the areas of your account that WordStream could truly help as we go through the product tour today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our presenter today, Kevin.
Thank you, Amanda, and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be looking through a demo account here to look to help you guys out, to teach you some strategies to make your online advertising more profitable. So without further ado, let's kind of hop right into it here. I'll make sure my screen is live. And all right, I guess to start things off, a little bit about me. Amanda's chosen some great facts. I did live in Australia for 4 years. That's actually where I went to do my entire university studies. I am a big fan of having ranch dressing to dip my pizza crust in, and probably most important and relevant to today's webinar is the fact that I'm a certified AdWords consultant here at WordStream. I've been here for about 2.5 years and performed over 600 account audits at this time. So this is what I spend my days doing, diving in to try to help small and medium-sized businesses with their digital advertising. Hopefully, as we go through today, we will be able to teach you and show you some great things, and by the end of this session, you will have a greater understanding of the impact of quality score on your ROI for your digital marketing, the importance of managing your queries in your account for AdWords specifically, and how to make sure that you're deriving relative funnels to match those queries to ads and segments of your accounts. We'll certainly go through how WordStream helps you tackle that with our 20-minute workweek alerts, and then dive in for a couple of additional advanced strategies to help you guys, generate better results, improved click-through rates, and ultimately more conversions, which is the whole point of advertising in the first place. A little bit about us for those of you who are maybe newer to following WordStream's, blogs and information. A little bit about our management of spend right now, over $2.5 million. These are kind of updated daily stats, and helping those customers of ours generate over 127,000 conversions per day. The average small business that joins on with us and utilizes our software and consulting services sees about a 44% increase in click-through rate and a 30% increase in conversions. So the strategies we'll be discussing today are certainly the backbone of how we help those businesses achieve those improvements and grow and generate more revenue. Now, in line with that, one of the first things that we do always look to improve your management of is queries in an account. And what you can see on my little fake MacBook Pro screen here is some example queries out of the account that we'll be reviewing today. And the big takeaway here is that the management of this account is currently not being controlled very effectively, in that about 80% of the traffic is coming from queries that they're not even bidding on. Now, to dive into this, because it's super important here, the thing that's occurring generally falls into one of two buckets. They're matching to queries that are just not relevant to the business, and we kind of consider that wasted spend. A couple that I'm pulling off from the list here are things like Wreath Hanger. The company we're looking at today does do windows and siding, home repair, contracting. Certainly not a seasonal wreath provider, so probably don't want to be paying to match those ads. Now, on the other flip side of that, they are showing for some nice long tail quality queries here, but because they haven't converted those into keywords in the account, they're actually overpaying for that high quality traffic. What we would want to do is help you segment and make a really easy decision every time this happens in your account. Hey, is this something that's irrelevant that I want to eliminate, or is it something that I should be bidding on so that I can generate that quality traffic at a lower cost per click price? Another incredibly important takeaway from looking at query management is the fact that, as you see at the top of the screen here, 20% of the searches going into Google every single day are new and unique. So even if you were to select a time period, say last week or last month, and review all of your queries and make these yes or no decisions, every single day that list would start to repopulate and grow again. And this is kind of one of the main ongoing tasks that you have to pay attention to when you're managing any AdWords and Bing account. Now, through that improved query management, we can see a lot of follow-on impacts and effects in an account. And what you're seeing on the screen now is actually 3 really important metrics that we would want to focus on. And I actually like to go out of order here a little bit. Let me see if I can wrangle up a bit of a highlighter tool. The way I look at this is when our traffic isn't relevant enough, we're not generating high enough click-through rates to please Google. And we can see here with this account, the people in this industry, the top performers, unicorns as we call them here at WordStream, are seeing click-through rates of over 10%. And this current account is at a 3.38. And that low click-through rate, while it impacts many things, one of the biggest things that it will impact is an account's quality score. And that's obviously one of the main focuses of today's discussion. So we'll get to some more details in a moment about how this will impact an account. But one of the greatest takeaways is the fact that it does generate a ton of this wasted spend, which we never want to see. Now, this could be comprised of, once again, that irrelevant traffic, so spending money showing up for queries that are just things that are never going to convert, a sale or a lead or a form fill or a phone call, whatever it is your business is trying to drive. Something totally irrelevant is not going to help you there. The other area could be in raised cost per click prices. Once again, we'll get into that a little bit more in just a second, but either way, I think we can all agree we don't ever want to see this number, especially a large number like this. This current account that we're looking at is projected to waste over $22,000 over the next 12 months. Certainly a lot of missed opportunity there to generate more business. Now the hard part, getting rid of the highlighter. There we go. So to dive into this quality score feature a little bit further, the first thing we'd want to look at is understanding how quality score is derived. Oops. With this example, once again, right out of the account, we see that windows and siding contractors is actually one of their most impressed terms. This is actually the ad from their account that they're matching. And at first look, this does seem to be sort of relevant. They're looking for siding contractors. The ad says siding contractor, well, siding specialist. But the missed opportunity here is that we're not addressing the need of this customer and the fact that they are looking for windows and siding. And this actually shows up on the search engine results page, which is really kind of the battleground of AdWords and where you've got to be as relevant as possible to the queries that people are typing in. Now, if we consider that there's going to be up to 3 other ads listed, above or around this particular ad, if another ad is more relevant and says that they do address windows and siding, we know empirically that that person searching is more likely to click on that ad and therefore give that other business the first crack at generating a sale. Now, a couple of things to go into this, and we can see here on the left-hand side that because of this, quality score is derived primarily of your click-through rate, and somewhat out of order, a big driver of that is the ad text relevancy. Now, there obviously are some other features and factors, landing page quality, bounce rate, but the way I always think of this is if I go to search something, I've got to see a relevant ad and come to your site. Those steps all have to happen before I can even determine if your page is relevant or bounce off of your landing page because I didn't like what I found. So lining up the first steps of this process is incredibly important in generating high quality leads and ensuring that you're giving yourself the shot to have the best possible quality score. Now, let's take a look at why we focus so much on quality score. Because it impacts so many areas of your account. And one of the biggest ones is the actual cost per click pricing. And if we look at the example on the screen here, this is once again from the same business, we see that their current average impression weighted quality score is a 5.2. Quality score is on a scale of 1 to 10, with Google's benchmark being a 7. They're essentially saying that you should be at or above a 7 if you have a highly refined, well-operating account. Now, the great opportunity that's available for this particular account is that in improving their quality score by just 1 point, they will save thousands of dollars of wasted spend in a month and be able to generate 165 more clicks. And this is really an important concept because we're not looking to necessarily just save money. I mean, we're spending money to advertise, to drive traffic, to grow a business. And the cool thing is when you improve your quality score, you're eliminating that waste, but also reallocating that spend into things that are what I call proven performers. So things that generate clicks, calls, conversions, whatever it is you're looking for. And it's that continual refinement process that we help you focus on, and that the WordStream's 20-minute workweek alerts will guide you through every week, so that you're taking the appropriate actions to raise this quality score, eliminate waste, and at the end of the day, generate new leads, conversions, calls at a lower price point. Let's hop over now and actually look at some of those specifics from this account. Give me just 1 second to pull that up. All right, and what you're seeing now is one of a couple areas of the software that we'll be able to show you today. This is our dashboarding feature. Incredibly important to be able to come into your account at any time and get a quick snapshot of performance. Now, a really cool thing about this particular account is they've actually loaded in a number of platforms that they're using, including not only AdWords, but Bing and Facebook. So you can really start to see their entire funnel, even looking at things like retargeting and remarketing to understand how they're performing and where you may need to shift around budget or focus more of your attention. You can dig into this and segment things on any time period, or look at different areas such as conversions, cost per acquisition, click levels, and cost per click pricing. This is a fantastic way to come in, get a quick snapshot of how your overall performance is trending, and start digging into areas that may need further attention. We also use this opportunity to highlight really important alerts that may need attention, such as previously submitted ads that have failed, or conversion tracking issues. All things that WordStream would help you with when you get started with us. The next area of the tool, and probably my favorite, is the automated area of the 20-minute work week. Now, this is where the software is analyzing your account's data all week long, and once a week it'll come back to you with a whole new population series of alerts covering all of these areas to try to tell you where opportunities or issues lie, and actually suggest an action that you may need to take in the account. Obviously, the great thing about these alerts is that they are actionable, so if you accept the suggestions from here, we'll do the work and go make those changes in AdWords, Bing, and Facebook for you. Let's dive in and do a couple of these together to show you how this works, and to also highlight some opportunities that you may be having in your specific accounts as well. When we dive into here to this first ad negatives alert, we'll see a couple of suggestions, and let me just give you the quick lay of the land here. We see that the tool's focused in on a specific campaign and a specific ad group, and we're actually pulling out example search queries, things that were typed in and Google matched these ads, but for one reason or another, the tool has determined that these are not good matches, at least in this specific area of the account. Let's dig in a little deeper here and show some additional functionality. So Raymond Woods Roof Repair, this is obviously a competitor. Now, I did a little bit of digging into the account here and found an awesome opportunity. If we come into locations, we see here that they've actually done a fantastic job and a lot of work of building out a competitor's campaign in the account, which is where you'd want to drive any competitor traffic so that you can serve an appropriate ad showing a unique value prop of your business and hopefully steal that initial traffic and try to generate more business for yourself. Now, in AdWords, you would need to go into each campaign and add that query as a negative keyword to funnel that traffic. But with WordStream, you can simply select all by clicking this top checkbox and deselect our competitor's campaign. This forces Google to send that traffic to the best, most designated area of your account, giving you the highest possibility to generate a conversion. To take that actual action with the software, we simply select the accept check and click apply. WordStream software will take care of the rest for you. And another awesome thing to point out is that we're actually doing this for AdWords and for Bing simultaneously. Really important to put across here that if you're using WordStream software, you're not going to be logging back and forth between those various platforms or between AdWords and WordStream. You're taking all of your actions right from here and they're all going right into your account, creating an awesome streamlined workflow and saving you time. Let's pull out of this. Now, if we go up one level here and think about adding negatives, what we're really doing is what I call playing defense. So we're finding these things that we're showing up for and spending money on and either eliminating them completely or segmenting them into the best areas of the account. Now, the flip side of that coin is obviously playing offense and taking the budget that we've just saved and allocating it into what I call proven performers, or things that are generating those valuable actions for your business. That's the whole purpose of this very next alert, add keywords. What the tool is doing here is really that same workflow where we're finding actual queries that have driven traffic or even conversions, as we see here. Let's scroll over to the right. Yeah, all of these examples generated a conversion for the business. So what we want to do is find a way to repeat that success at a lower price point moving forward. These tend to be great long tail keyword additions as well that are less competitive to bid on and therefore evoke a lower cost per click price. If you like the suggestions, you simply select them. You can actually click this top check to select all of them. If for some reason there's something odd or a bit of a one-off, something that you wouldn't actually want to add in, you have that functionality here where you can block it with this reject button. And the awesome thing there is that the software is actually a learning tool, meaning that the more that you use it, the more feedback you give it through saying yay or nay to these suggestions, the better and better that the alerts will be moving forward. Once again, all we do is click apply to push those changes to our AdWords and Bing account, and we know that we are improving our quality score, our click-through rate, and our ROI with every action that we take. Now, those first couple of alerts were obviously really directed at managing our queries and some ongoing work in the account, but as we all know, there's a number of areas that you have to focus on a weekly basis with your AdWords account. To look into some of these, we've got things like bidding management, so reviewing your most costly terms where you're spending the majority of your budget. For the company we're looking at today, this is a great way to check based on knowledge of the business. And I think this is a really important thing to point out. You know, we're using the tool to show you opportunities, but what we look for from you is the actual implementation of that business knowledge. So if we found out that windows were actually the more profitable product for this business, yet they were spending the majority of their money on vinyl siding, we might want to use this alert to understand that that's what's occurring and go in to make some changes in the account where we are spending the majority of our budget on the thing that brings in the most revenue for the business. Now, sticking with the bidding theme, we've got some other bidding alerts here that I definitely want to highlight. We have a full bid management tool built into this where we can actually manage your bids based on your goals. And this is a really important part of onboarding and getting set with WordStream, is understanding your business and determining a goal cost per acquisition price. What the tool then does is track your accounts and keywords performance and give you bidding recommendations where appropriate. So something that's performing well that we might want to bid up on, will give you that recommendation and allow you to be more or less aggressive by inputting a manual change if you prefer. But the big takeaway here is instead of having Google control your pricing with an automated bidding strategy of theirs, you are now in control of the bidding strategy based on the goals that you've set for your own account. Moving even farther into the bidding realm is bidding by device. And this is becoming so much more important, especially with the transition to mobile. But what we can see here is that the tool is actually tracking performance by device and giving you further bidding manipulation recommendations based on that performance. We can see here that conversions from computers and from mobiles are performing much better than tablets, so we would want to increase the percentage of our budget we spend on those devices to enjoy that optimal performance. We've also got your back covered in a number of ways that are commonly overlooked. This is actually one of my favorite alerts, is pause duplicates. What you'll notice as you grow and expand and manage an account over time is you sometimes have a bit of a misstep or input something into the account that's already existing. With this area of the tool, we'll find areas where you're bidding on the same keyword multiple times and help you eliminate that so that you're not bidding against yourself, further raising your cost per click price, lowering your quality score, and damaging your account. To kind of put a nice little summary on all of these alerts, we'll go right into here. And this is a great thing that I always love to look at, because this is an awesome sort of skeleton of all of the things that any AdWords account should be reviewing and optimizing every single week. And these are also in the 20-minute work week. If you're doing all of these things, if you're spending more than 20 minutes a week, I definitely recommend trying out a trial of the software, getting specific recommendations for your accounts, and to see how much quicker it is to implement those improvements on a regular basis. Because as we all know, the more active you are, the more refinements that you can implement, the more control that you can exert over Google's spend of your budget, the better your results will be. Now, the typical feedback I get here is, hey, this looks great, but I want to take more actions. I want to do more manual manipulation in my account. And that's where I say, don't worry, we've got you covered there as well. So I'll show you one last area of the tool here, which is our Manage tab. Once again, a big point to get across is that when you're using WordStream software, you're not going to be logging back and forth between our tool and AdWords. You can handle everything right from here, and we can push any changes. I'll give you a quick lay of the land of this area of the tool. Over on the left, we see we've got the AdWords account with all of our campaigns, so you can dive in and segment on any level. You can also come in here and look at things by campaign, ad group, ads, keywords, etc. And then we have one other tool in here that I always highlight, which is one of my favorites, our QueryStream tool. And what I do is I always think of this as an actionable search terms report from AdWords. So let's do a couple of quick examples here to show you how you can leverage this to, once again, further refine your account on a regular basis. I did a little bit of looking around in here before the webinar today and found a couple of examples, so we'll pull those up now. But to show you what we're looking at here, on the left we see the actual search queries that we've been matching to versus the keywords that we're bidding on. And I always point this out because this difference, this inefficiency, is something that is costing the account, a ton of money. Once again, all these queries that we're matched to are either irrelevant and we want to block them, or they're relevant terms and we can, repeat this success and repeat this traffic at a lower cost by bidding on these and controlling them. So let's use the first example here. They're showing up for hardy and hardy siding, hardy planks a number of times. So let's kind of dig in here and see what we can find. I'm going to go to our search bar feature on the right, type in hardy and click search. We see that actually in the last 30 days, we've shown up for 45 search queries that include some variation of hardy, And we spent about $760 there as well. Now, because they're bidding on the keywords hardy siding and hardy, I'm going to make the assumption here that these are good search queries that are relevant for them. Now, the awesome opportunity is that we can bid on these directly because they will be less competitive. Everyone in the siding game is probably bidding on hardy or hardy boards, but far fewer people are bidding on these longer 3- and 4-word keyword terms. So to take advantage of this, we can actually select all of these. Obviously, I would recommend a bit of a review here, make sure they are all in line with your business. But if they are, we can actually add these in as keywords with just the click of a button. And there's actually a couple of really cool testing options that you have here. You can add these into the existing ad group and campaign where they were already matching, and because we already have a James Hardy siding ad group built, I would suggest that's where that would go. But let's say we wanted to test these queries to see if they do perform better or at a lower price. We can actually create a whole new Hardy test group right here by simply selecting new ad group. All we then have to do is go down to click add keywords, and the software takes care of the rest. And if we really think about everything that we've just accomplished there with 2 clicks of a button, it's really pretty impressive. We're now converting existing queries into keywords. We're populating our keyword list with proven performers versus guesses. We've built an entire new ad group. And the really cool thing here is that the tool actually prompts you to do the next step so that you don't forget anything or let anything slip through the cracks. And as we can see here, by selecting that action that I just did, the tool is now prompting us to create a new ad to match to that new ad group and be super specific and relevant. Now, we'll do one more of those just because there's so many ways you can go with a tool like this and an opportunity like that. I actually dove in here and found another thing that they're showing up for flashing. Now, they don't have anything built into the account about flashing. Obviously, very related to construction and to siding, but they're spending money on this. They actually, in just 3 impressions, spent $63 on this in the last 30 days, and they don't have anything built out for the account for flashing specifically. So, once again, great opportunity here. We can either select these and simply click this green button to add these as a negative and stop spending this money on something that we haven't built or accounted for at all. Or if we do sell a flashing product or generate conversions and business from people searching for flashing, we can obviously add this in, as I just showed you with the last example, to create that new ad group and start driving this traffic with some purpose and intent behind it. Because at the end of the day, that's the thing that really matters here. Understanding the intent of the person searching on Google, serving them an ad that is relevant and that allows them to quickly see that when they get to your site, their needs or questions are going to be answered or the service that they're after is going to be provided. Any way that you can streamline that and ensure hyper-relevancy will improve your quality score, improve your click-through rate, improve your account and your ROI from AdWords. There's obviously a ton more that the tool can do for you, and we really kind of just scratched the surface today. But when we think about the lead up to high quality scores, great ROI from AdWords, and how we've got to build and segment an account as well as manage it on an ongoing basis, those are really the features that we look at. Now I think Amanda has a poll set up. And we've got some question and answers coming up as well. So I'm going to pass it over to her in just a second, and we can bring that poll up to see what we can help people with.
Thanks, Kevin. So yeah, obviously that was, a quick overview of how powerful WordStream can be, but maybe that wasn't the industry you're in, or maybe you want to see this tool in action with your own personal data and really get a customized analysis that fits your business specifically. And if that's the case, just let us know in this poll up on your screen right now, and we'll have one of our certified AdWords consultants reach out to you. So while we wait to have you guys answer that question, we'll kind of dive into some of the questions that came in during our session. So Kevin, you mentioned in that account that there are some words that were longer and more specific. Can you dive into what that really means? Is that a certain type of keyword? Are they helpful? That sort of thing.
Yeah, great question, Amanda. So what I believe you're referring to is longer tailed terms known as long tail keywords. Couple of reasons those are incredibly important for any account. For one, it has to do with competition. So, I always use a really simple example, something like shoes. If I'm selling shoes online, me and every other business doing that is bidding on a keyword, something like men's shoes. But if I increase the length and the specificity of that keyword to be something like, men's running shoes, size 12, that is much more specific. And if someone goes and types that in, you understand that the intent is also much greater at that point. So I'm not just looking for shoes in general, but I need running shoes. Maybe I have a marathon coming up or something like that. So you're able to take advantage of matching to a higher relevancy, higher intent query, and you benefit from paying less for doing so because of less competition with that longer expanded term. Additionally, you can use information like that to, throughout your account. So in writing, your ad or in segmenting your ad groups, the more information, the longer tail the queries, many benefits come from that.
Awesome. Thank you. And then just finally, one person wanted to make sure, so they saw, you could also manage Bing down there and things like that. Just to double check, with WordStream, you just sign in once to our tool after connecting those accounts, and you don't have to juggle between each platform.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So the whole goal here is to create an incredibly streamlined and simplified workflow where everything is in one place for you. So any changes that you do make, in the software do push out to those accounts. And we're actually also able to do some really great things for businesses that are leveraging multiple platforms. So if you're on, AdWords and Bing and Facebook, even Instagram, there's different strategies involved with each of those platforms. And what our tool can actually do, because we're attached to them and tracking all of them, is even help you with things like budget reallocation. So if we see that you're getting, a ton of top of funnel leads through initial searches on AdWords, but maybe falling short in some retargeting areas, things like, showing a retargeting ad on Facebook. The software is going to make it super easy to identify that and even give you the recommendations as far as reallocation or working on the different areas of those platforms to get better results. And definitely you do all that right from WordStream. We don't want you logging in and out of all those platforms. That would just be a headache.
Great. And I think we have time for just one more question. We had some people ask, I feel like I'm doing really great in AdWords right now. Do you think WordStream Advisor is still a tool that could be helpful?
That's a fantastic question. So I would say, the best thing to do there is connect, get a free trial set up, and connect with one of our account executives to work with you for a nice in-depth account review. I've honestly seen the needle kind of go both ways there. I've connected with people that thought they were doing great, and we found a ton of areas of opportunity for them. I've also connected and reviewed accounts where people were worried that they were, dropping the ball everywhere and had a ton of issues, and we really found very minimal improvements. So, my recommendation there is don't guess, but check and test and see, see what is available. Worst case scenario, you have an expert work with you, leveraging this tool to see what's available in your account. If we find nothing, then you've got the confidence to know you're doing a great job. If we find something, we're able to alert you to it and let you know how much opportunity is available.
Great. We hope that everyone on the line found this really helpful today. And again, just to reiterate, we will be sending the recording and the slide deck to you guys within the next 48 hours. So be looking out for that, and we will talk to you soon.